Listen up. No sugarcoating, no hand-holding. You've been through hell, and you think that's where it ends. You think the battle is over. No, it's just beginning. They tried to break you. They threw storms at you, buried you in doubt, drowned you in pain. They wanted to see you shattered, crawling, begging for mercy. They wanted to rip the fight out of your bones, strip you of your fire, and leave you as nothing but a hollow shell. But guess what? You're still here. You've been stabbed by betrayal, scarred by loss, burned by failure, but every single time you got back up, you walked through fire, and instead of turning to ash, you came out forged in steel. Because God kept you. He didn't let you fall when you wanted to quit. He didn't let you die in the pit they tried to throw you in. He didn't let your enemies feast on your downfall. Every time they thought they had you, he pulled you back. Every time they thought you were finished, he whispered, "Not yet." But here's the truth. Surviving isn't enough. You've been given another chance, not to sit and lick your wounds, not to play victim, not to carry your scars like shackles, but to rise, to fight, to dominate. Because this war you're in, it's not over. You're not just up against people who hate you. You're up against a world that wants to break you. A system designed to keep you weak. A mindset that's been fed lies since birth. They want you soft. They want you obedient. They want you afraid. But if you're listening to this right now, then something inside you is already rebelling. Something inside you knows the truth. You were not born to be a slave to your past. You were not created to be ruled by fear. You were not meant to live on your knees, waiting for permission to be great. They wanted to take your soul. They wanted to kill your fire. But God kept you. Now what? What will you do with this second chance? Will you keep making excuses? Keep blaming your past? Keep pretending you're powerless? Or will you stand the hell up and take what's yours? This is your call to arms. No more hesitation. No more self-pity. This is war. Move. Now, the Leah lie, they believe you've been fed lies since the day you opened your eyes. They told you to play it safe, to be realistic, to lower your expectations. They conditioned you to believe that struggle is permanent, that pain defines you, that you are nothing more than the weight of your past mistakes, and you ate it up. You let their voices sink into your skull. You let their doubts become your doubts. You let their fear become your fear. And now look at you. You sit there telling yourself you can't change, that you're too broken, too lost, too behind. That life dealt you a bad hand, and now you're stuck playing the game with a losing deck. Lie. Every single excuse you've been telling yourself is a lie. They said you'd never rise above your circumstances. Lie. They said you'd always be a prisoner to your past. Lie. They said you weren't strong enough, smart enough, worthy enough. Lie. You see, the world wants you weak. A system built on control thrives on people who doubt themselves. They want you too distracted, too defeated, too damn exhausted to realize the truth: you were never powerless. They knew that if you ever woke up, if you ever looked in the mirror and saw the beast inside of you, the one that refuses to be chained, refuses to be broken, refuses to be silent, you would become unstoppable. So they fed you poison. They dressed it up as advice. They called it wisdom. They said, just accept your reality. They told you some people are just meant to struggle. They said, be grateful for what you have. Don't ask for too much. Bullshit. Gratitude is one thing. Settling is another. You think warriors settle. You think kings and conquerors waited for permission. You think the people who built empires sat back and said, maybe this isn't meant for me. No, they took what was theirs. And they took it because they refused to swallow the lies of the weak. But you've been listening to the cowards. The ones who quit on their dreams and want you to quit on yours. The ones who never had the courage to break free, so they mock anyone who tries. Let me tell you something. Their limitations are not yours. Their chains do not belong to you. Their excuses are not your reality. But as long as you keep believing the lie, you will remain exactly where you are trapped, struggling, dying slowly in a life that was never meant to contain you. So now the question is this: are you ready to wake up? Are you ready to kill the old version of yourself? The one that played small, the one that begged for approval, the one that lived in fear. Because that version of you, it needs to die. Burn it. Burn the self-doubt. Burn the excuses. Burn every last whisper of weakness that ever lived in your mind. They wanted to take your soul, but God kept you. That means you have a purpose. That means you have a mission. That means you were built for more than this pathetic cycle of fear and hesitation. So stop lying to yourself. Stop pretending you're powerless. Stop worshiping the limits other people have placed on you. Stand up, wake up, move. Because the time for doubt is over. The war has already begun. Now fight. The raw truth, you want the truth. The real, raw, unfiltered truth. Nobody is coming to save you. Not your friends, not your family, not the government. Not some stroke of luck that suddenly flips your life around. No one. The world doesn't care about your sob story. It doesn't care about your past, your pain, or the reasons why you think you can't make it. It only cares about one thing: results. That's the cold, hard reality. You can cry about it. You can scream about it. You can sit in a corner and feel sorry for yourself. But at the end of the day, you will still wake up in the same body, in the same situation, with the same choices staring you in the face. Fight or fold, win or lose, live or die. That's life. That's the battlefield you were thrown into. And the weak, they don't survive here. But here you are, still breathing, still standing, still alive. And if you're alive, then you have no damn excuse not to fight. Because the truth is, your suffering is your responsibility. Read that again. Let it sink in. Nobody forced you to stay in the same patterns. Nobody tied you down and made you accept mediocrity. You chose this. You chose comfort over progress. You chose fear over action. You chose distractions over discipline. You chose to listen to the voices that said, "Take it easy." You chose to believe the doubts that whispered, "Maybe this isn't for you." And every single time you backed down, every single time you hesitated, every single time you let your lust control you, you paid the price. Look at your life. Look at your bank account. Look at your body. Look at your mind. That's the cost of your excuses. You don't like where you are. Good. Use that pain. Let it burn. Let it remind you of every wasted opportunity, every moment you let fear win, every chance you had to step up but didn't. Let it fuel you. Let it make you angry. Because here's the truth: most people will never tell you pain is a gift. Pain exposes who you really are. It shows you whether you're a warrior or a coward. It shows you whether you rise or whether you break. And most people, they break. They fold under pressure. They run from discomfort. They spend their entire lives avoiding pain. And that's exactly why they stay weak. But you don't have that option. You didn't survive everything you've been through just to sit in the shadows, licking your wounds, waiting for something to change. You survived because God kept you. Because your mission isn't over. Because there's a beast inside you that refuses to die. So stop running. Stop making excuses. Stop looking for an easy way out, because there isn't one. There is only one way forward. Through the fire. Through the late nights. Through the hard days. Through the failures, the rejection, the doubt, the setbacks. Through the battles that make the average man quit. Through the wars that separate the strong from the weak. You want to be great, then bleed for it. You want to be unstoppable, then suffer for it. Because the truth is, nothing is given to you in this life. Everything is taken. So take what's yours. They wanted to take your soul. They wanted to break your will. They wanted to see you on your knees begging for mercy. But you're still standing. Now prove why. Move. The consequence of weakness. Let's talk about what happens if you don't change. You think you have time? You think you can keep putting it off? Keep making excuses? Keep telling yourself I'll start tomorrow? Then hear this, tomorrow never comes for the weak. Because while you're waiting, your enemies are moving. While you're hesitating, the world is swallowing you whole. While you're stuck in your own self-pity, someone else is taking everything that should have been yours. And if you keep living like this, if you keep playing small, if you keep bowing down to your fears, you will lose. Not just a little, not just in one area. You will lose everything. Look around you. How many people do you know who settled? Who gave up? Who let life beat them down so many times that they stopped getting back up? You see them in dead-end jobs. You see them in toxic relationships. You see them drowning in regret, living lives that look more like slow death than anything close to what they once dreamed of. That's your future if you don't wake the hell up. Weakness has a price. You don't want to push harder. Fine. But understand this, you will live with the pain of regret for the rest of your life. You don't want to put in the work. Fine. Just know that when you're old, when you're sitting in that same damn spot, watching everyone else move forward while you rot in the same misery you created, you will have no one to blame but yourself. Weakness doesn't just cost you money. It doesn't just cost you opportunities. It costs you your soul. You think God kept you alive so you could waste your life feeling sorry for yourself. So you could wake up every day as a victim, letting life slap you around like some helpless nobody. No. He kept you because you have a purpose. Because there is something inside you that is meant to change the world. But if you don't act, if you don't step into your power, if you don't rise up and fight, you will never know what you could have been. And let me tell you something, that is the worst kind of pain. Not the pain of failure. Not the pain of struggle. The pain of knowing you had the power to change your life, but you were too weak to use it. The pain of looking back and realizing that the only thing standing between you and greatness was you. That's the price of hesitation. That's the price of playing small. That's the price of staying weak. And if you don't believe me, look at history. Look at the forgotten names. The ones who had potential, but never acted. The ones who let fear choke the life out of them. The ones who died filled with regret, knowing they wasted the one shot they had. That's where you're headed if you don't change. So let me ask you, do you really want that life? Do you really want to wake up one day knowing you could have had more, done more, been more, but you chose comfort instead? Do you really want to see someone else living the life you should have had, taking the opportunities you ignored, walking the path you were too afraid to take? Because if you keep living the way you're living, that's exactly what's going to happen. No more time, no more second chances, no more safety nets. It's now or never. They wanted to take your soul, but God kept you. So what the hell are you going to do with that? Because weakness has only one ending, and it ain't survival. Move. Now. The rise enough. Enough waiting. Enough doubting. Enough living like a slave to your fears, your past, your excuses. You are still here for a reason. You are still breathing because God isn't finished with you. So now, it's time to rise. Not tomorrow. Not next week. And a while. Because the moment you decide to stop playing small, to stop hiding in the shadows, to stop accepting the scraps this world throws at you, that's the moment you become dangerous. And that's what they fear. They fear the moment you wake up. They fear the moment you stop being a puppet, a victim, a pawn in their game. They fear the moment you remember who the hell you are. You are not weak. You are not average. You are not another nameless body floating through life, waiting to die. You were built for war. You were created to dominate. But domination doesn't come to those who hesitate. It doesn't come to those who wish for it, pray for it, dream about it. It comes to those who take it. And if you want it, if you're finally ready to step into the power that has been burning inside you since the day you were born, then there is only one thing left to do: rise. Rise above your fears, rise above your past, rise above the limits this world tried to place on you. Because the old you, he's dead. The one who made excuses, gone. The one who hesitated, gone. The one who let fear control him, buried. And in his place stands something new, something unbreakable. A warrior, a conqueror, a force that cannot be stopped. And from this moment forward, you will move like it. You will think like it. You will act like it. Because you don't have a choice anymore. The weak version of you is gone. The fearful version of you is gone. And what's left is the real you, the one who was always meant to rise. They tried to break you. They tried to destroy you. They tried to steal your soul. But God kept you. So now show them why. Show them the beast that refuses to die. Show them the fire that cannot be extinguished. Show them the warrior that will never back down. Stand up, walk forward, and take what's yours. Because from this moment on, you don't just survive, you conquer. And El Bouv. The command, this is it. No more talking. No more thinking. No more waiting for the right time. Because the right time, it's already here. The truth has been laid out in front of you, raw and unfiltered. You've seen the weakness that was holding you back. You've felt the consequences of hesitation. You've burned the old version of yourself to the ground. Now there is only one thing left to do: move. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not when you feel ready. And oh no. Because this world, it doesn't wait. The opportunities you ignore today will be gone tomorrow. The life you're meant to have doesn't sit around waiting for you to wake up. You take it or you lose it. No more hesitation. No more weakness. No more waiting for permission. You are done with fear. You are done with excuses. You are done with settling for less than what you are capable of. From this moment on, you execute. You wake up earlier. You work harder. You push further. You demand more from yourself than you ever have before. And when the doubts creep in, you silence them. And when the fear tries to take hold, you crush it. And when the world tells you to slow down, you speed the hell up. Because you don't have time to waste. Your mission is too important. God kept you here for a reason. And now it's time to prove why. This is your moment. This is your war. This is the fight that will define the rest of your life. So go, move, dominate, and never look back. Because from this day forward, you are not just alive, you are unstoppable. Now go take what's yours. And oh well.